The next case that we'll be looking at is a parentage case. The decision deals with the validity of certain types of surrogacy agreements. Jeffrey and Sarah meet in 2002 when Sarah and her daughter move next door to Jeffrey. Thereafter, they become friends. Jeffrey is a single gay man and Sarah is a single lesbian. Jeffrey tells Sarah he is researching ways to become a parent, and in early 2012, Sarah offers to be a surrogate of Jeffrey. In November 2012, they enter into a verbal surrogacy agreement in which Sarah agrees to be Jeffrey's surrogate. The terms of the verbal agreement are as follows. Number one, Jeffrey will be the sole parent. Number two, Sarah will not be recognized or assume the role of the child's mom. And three, Jeffrey will pay for all of the pregnancy-related expenses up to 6 months post-delivery, as well as pay for a European vacation for Sarah. Pretty nice, right? I'm a child for a European vacation. The parties' agreement further provide the child will call Sarah by her first name instead of, quote, mom. And Jeffrey later states that the parties did not make a specific agreement regarding what contact, if any, Sarah would have with the child. In December 2013, Sarah gives birth to the child, and Jeffrey is with Sarah when she gives birth and agrees for Sarah to be identified as the child's mom on the birth certificate. He does this in order to prevent the line for mom being left blank. He didn't want the certificate to be left blank, but he's still holding to it that she's not going to be called mom. Jeffrey and the child stay at Sarah's home for 5 days after the child's birth. Thereafter, the child never spends another night at Sarah's home. For the next 7 years, Jeffrey alone makes all of the decisions regarding to the child and assumes all financial responsibility for her. For example, Jeffrey alone selects the doctors and dentists, makes medical appointments for her, enrolls her in schools, and arranges for her extracurricular activities. Sarah occasionally babysits the child and occasionally spends time with the child at special events. However, the child never calls Sarah mom. Well, the parties' relationship deteriorates during the COVID pandemic. Beginning in 2020, Jeffrey restricts the interactions with everyone who was not immediate family, and this results in Sarah visiting the child less, which causes her to claim that Jeffrey was not honoring their agreement. Sarah sends emails to Jeffrey stating that a relationship with the child was part of the relationship and is not optional. In response, Jeffrey states that Sarah was not the child's mom. She disagrees, and she files a request to determine the parental relationship of the child. So she's in family court now saying, hey, I want to be named as the mom of this child. She also asks for joint legal and physical custody. Jeffrey files a responsive declaration asking the court to deny her altogether. A trial is held, and the trial judge concludes the evidence does not support a finding that Sarah is the presumed parent under Family Code Section 7611. The trial court also finds that it would not be in the child's best interest for Sarah to enter the child's life in the role of a parent. In ruling, the trial court recognizes that the parties enter into what is called a traditional surrogacy agreement. The court finds that proof of the existence of the oral agreement consisted of the conduct of the parties after the child's birth and for the better part of the 7 to 8 years. So the trial court said, oral agreements for this type of thing is valid. So this decision addresses the enforceability of oral traditional agreements, which I found pretty shocking when I read this. I mean, we talk about important things needing writings, like, if you're making a contract for a property, how about, a contract for parentage, And I think that this decision also tells you, non-family law attorneys, why we crazy family law attorneys get involved in this stuff. Because you have this cross-section of, technology and progressive laws versus people's feelings, and I can't believe that this mother didn't tell this child during those 7 years, hey, I'm your mom, and I can't believe that the child, when she gets old enough, is going to be asking, where is my mom? Who is my mom? Isn't it that the woman, and does this law really protect children? There's no mention of what's right for the kids. It's just a basic contract decision. So again, this is what we do, and this is why we're so, I think, emotionally involved in our cases as well, because you see results like this.